It's after 1 o'clock. There have been some backups put into place, and my colleague LaShawn is also the co-host on this. And I have a deck ready to go, but there are some backup decks as well for now. But we appreciate your patience. Thank you for being in attendance, and we'll get started momentarily. We are joined by our executive director, Mr. Tyrone Garrett. He will be with us for the first few minutes of the meeting, and then we'll kick into the presentation. Mr. Garrett, do you want to say something while we are having folks starting to join the call? While we have you?
You probably just have to repeat it for me, though. But I truly appreciate all the residents that are participating today. The big thing that I want everyone to know, we have Commissioner Council jumped on. So this is a great opportunity for us to showcase our resident engagement and the process that we're going to be going through with Greenleaf as a model for any other rehabilitation and redevelopment that we might do within the portfolio.
Bostic has joined the meeting.
Again, I want to say thank you for everyone who is participating. Please,
Bishop.
So let's just understand. I want everyone to understand that you have a great team working on your behalf in conjunction with the DCHA, and they'll be able to introduce themselves to you this afternoon. In addition, I just want you to know also that this is not the only meeting we're going to have. We're going to continue to have these type of meetings and this dialogue with you directly, because we need your input and we need your support going through this particular process, because you are in essence our partner. You are our true partner as being the residents, our customers of this particular community. And we want to make sure that you're comfortable with everything that we're going to be doing. So today is just that initial first step, that fill you out kind of conversation, that first date, so to speak. And we'll be, and as Jose said, we'll be introducing everyone and in a few minutes and getting through a presentation. I really hope that if you have questions, you're able to ask those questions. If we don't have answers for you right away, we'll definitely make sure that we're able to get back to you at some point in time before our next meeting, our next dialogue, to engage you and have those answers provided. I think, Jose, we are recording this, right?
Yes, sir. We are recording it, and we'll upload the video.
Okay, so if you missed something during this conversation, you'll always be able to go back and review it and listen to it again and develop more questions if you should have them. But this is going to be an opportunity for us to walk together as a true team, DCHA, our partners, and the residents. So thank you again for participating, and I welcome you welcome your participation.
Along with what Mr. Garrett just said, sorry, 1 second here, is the fact that we are transcribing all of your questions and answers. We will be assembling those along with some of the ones from the last meeting and sending it all out to all the residents again, door to door before our next meeting. We'll go through that within the presentation as well.
Jose, there's one other thing I just wanted to say to the group before you guys get started, and I think you should reiterate it at towards the end, and maybe Ms. Walker can help us. The one thing that we have talked about and discussed as a team, a development team, is that the information that you receive, the best information that you could receive is from dialogue like this, from meetings like this, versus word of mouth from your next door neighbors who didn't participate in this particular meeting. So if there's any questions that you have, anywhere you want to get your information, this is the forum to do so. This is where you'll get direct, honest answers about what is actually going on, and versus hearing it through the grapevine or the rumor mill. I want you to get, I want you to be able to feel comfortable with asking us even those hard questions, but we'll give you the honest, true answer to whatever the scenario is.
And along with that, Mr. Garrett, I know that one of the things that we shared at the first meeting in November was that we will be convening these meetings with residents monthly. And so this is the December meeting that is being held. At the end of the presentation, we are sharing the date for the January meeting. So while we would have preferred to continue to meet with you all in person, we know that that is not something that's available to us right now. And so we are taking advantage of this medium during this time to ensure that we can maximize participation, sharing materials door to door ahead of time, transcribing responses to questions, uploading videos, and we'll continue in this forum and in this format for the foreseeable future. We do look forward to the time where we can get back together in person with you, because I know that the development team and several of our colleagues are just excited to be able to engage one-on-one. We miss that component of this job, but we will make the best use of what we can while we can in this format. We are also joined by Commissioner Kenneth Council, the Vice Chair of the DCHA Board of Commissioners. Commissioner Council, did you want to say a few words to this group while we have you, sir?
Good evening, everyone. I'm hoping that everybody understand, and this right here is not a rehearsal, but don't be afraid to ask a question, regardless of whatever someone is doing. If you don't understand it, make sure you get understanding before you leave this room, because it's about us making sure that we get a bang for our buck, and most of all, have our affordable living stay in place, and most of all, better conditions than what we're living in now.
We're going to wait about 2 or 3 more minutes. There's some more folks being added in, and then we will kick off again. Thanks for your patience, everyone. The meeting is being recorded. It will be uploaded to the dcha.us/Greenleaf site. Again, thank you for being with us today.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you already.
Hello?
So we're just going to wait about 2 more minutes. For those of you who have just joined us, again, thank you for joining our meeting. We will be doing an introduction on a short presentation, and then we'll be able to call upon participants one by one for your questions. We're going to try to get through as many questions as possible. We have a healthy amount of attendees, and we are grateful for that. Again, my name is Jose Sousa with DCHA. We will do some introductions momentarily before we get started, and then we'll go from there. He may have already been pulled into the other meeting, but we are joined by our executive director, Mr. Garrett, who shared some comments earlier. Mr. Garrett, if you are available, if you want to just do a quick intro again. If not, I'm going to kick it over and start us off here in a few minutes.
Yeah, you know what, Jose, I'm getting ready to jump off, but I just want to say for anyone that's just jumped on, I just want to say again, thank you for participating in this call. And again, it's not going to be the last time that we have this type of discussion. As Commissioner Council stated, is really all about the residents and our service to you. So we want to do a good job. We want you to hold us accountable for all of our actions. And this is the start of something I think that it will catapult not only your living conditions, but also give the Housing Authority, the DCHA, the opportunity to show our capacity and ability to work with great partners.
Thank you, sir. Just a couple of housekeeping items, and if I sound repetitive, it's because I am being so. We are recording this meeting. We will upload it to the project website. In the event that we run into any technical difficulties that causes us to be to get knocked off, we'll get right back on. And so if you are knocked off, feel free to just call right back in. We'll get everybody on there. Hopefully that doesn't happen. We've had some good luck. We had an issue earlier. We are going to be keeping track of questions. We'll be providing those in written form answers back to everyone. We will be calling upon residents one by one for questions after the presentation concludes. And so in the meantime, please do keep your microphones muted. We will be muting some participants in the meantime if you're unable to do so. When we get to the portion of identifying residents, we'll indicate how you can unmute yourself for participation, and then we'll go from there. With that, I guess, let me just get the presentation up here and we'll go ahead and get started. So today is December 10th, 2020. Mr. Garrett, our executive director, gave us a few words at the beginning. Some of you may have heard him. He's on another meeting at the same time. He might join us again. My name is Jose Sousa with the DC Housing Authority. There's a few of my colleagues on here as well who I'd like to allow them to introduce themselves at this point. And they will then do their intros for the development team, who will talk through some of these slides as well. Senthil, did you want to go ahead and introduce yourself at this point and introduce your team?
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Senthil Sankaran. I'm Director of the Office of Real Estate Development and Capital Programs at DCHA. I've met some of you, I believe, and looking forward to get to know more of you through this process. And, we are, as Director Garrett was saying, we're very excited because we believe we have a highly qualified team that understands the importance of resident engagement, and we're happy to be joined by, with them today. And I'd like to introduce some of the other team at DCHA that'll be working on this. Andre, would you like to introduce yourself? And then who else on our team is here? Probably Sasha, I believe, is on. If you guys can just briefly introduce yourself, and then Andre, if you can do the handoff to the team to present the presentation.
Sure. Thank you, Senthil. A lot of you may know me. My name is Andre Gould. I'm a Senior Development Manager with the Office of Capital Programs at DCHA. We've worked a number of years on getting the project to this point, and I'm very happy to introduce the development team that's been selected. You'll also get to meet Sasha. His real name is Alexander. If he can wave to you right now, but you all will get to meet him as we come out for future meetings. Jose, if you can go to the next slide. So today we're going to talk about the development partners, and they'll introduce themselves. They'll give an overview of the build first and their overall vision for the redevelopment. We'll talk about resident collaboration in section 3, and then we'll close out the meeting. Next slide. Since we last met, our board voted on November 12th, 2020 to approve the resolution for us to enter into an exclusive right to negotiate with the selected development partners, which is Greenleaf District Partners, made up of Penrose, EYA, and Bozzuto. And you'll meet representatives of each one of the development partners today. And I will actually turn the presentation over to them so that they can introduce themselves, and we'll go through a small presentation.
Next slide. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Ivy Dench Carter. I'm Senior Vice President with Penrose. And I'd just like to say on behalf of the Greenleaf District Partners that include my partners, Bozzuto and EYA, how thrilled we are to have the confidence of the residents and the Housing Authority to include us in this transformational project. You guys are an integral and probably the most important spoke in this wheel to make sure that we are redeveloping this site in a manner in which you are in the know and contributing and collaborating with us in this project. What I'd like to do is call on my partners. If everyone could put their phones on mute for us, that'd be great. Thank you. I'd like to present my partners in this transformational project. We're all very excited, as I said previously. I'd like to introduce you to our partners at Bizzuto. And then after Bizzuto gives you information about their firm and their commitment to this project, we will hear from EYA as it relates to who they are and their vast experience within the district. Mike? You there, Mike? That we may be having some technical difficulties.
It looks like he froze up.
Okay.
Maybe I'll jump
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Hennahan with Bizzuto Development, and I'm here today representing the Bizzuto Group. I'm joined by my colleagues, Devin Hasty. There's a lot of pictures on the board, but Devin Hasty's out there somewhere. Laura Abbott and Jeff Case. Jeff and myself have been with Bizzuto for over 15 years now. So Jeff oversees the Mid-Atlantic operations for the development business, which includes DC and DC Metro. And, you know, Jeff and I have been with the company for a long time for a lot of good reasons. It is a private, family-based company focused on providing housing. So that's our sole and primary mission is to provide housing. The company started 32 years ago, and it was started by Tom Bizzuto with a few partners. His son, Toby, now runs the company. And, you know, Tom continues to be incredibly active in our operations, mainly overseeing that we stick to our core values of concern, creativity, passion, perfection, and really making sure that we continue and build upon our family culture here at Bizzuto. So in a nutshell, we are what we call a vertically oriented real estate company. Simply that just means that we have a development company, we have a construction company, and a management company. So all components of the process of development. And our management company is really the heart of Bizzuto. We have a passionate focus on our residents and creating sanctuary that really permeates from our management company back through all the different groups within our chain of development. So we manage 268 communities with over 80,000 units and nearly 3 million square feet of retail. And, you know, one of the accomplishments I think that we are probably most proud of is our management company has been ranked #1 in the country for 6 years running for reputation. And that's based upon resident feedback. So we take a lot of pride in that. And, you know, all of this just goes to say that we're excited to put our resources to work and work with DCHA and work with our partners, Penrose and EYA, and also the residents. So there's a lot of work to do, but we're excited to bring our resources to the table and help it move forward successfully. But thank you for your time today.
Mike, thank you. I'll introduce EYA. My name is Jack Lester. I'm joined today with my partner, Akash Thakar. We're partners at EYA, which is a 90-person Bethesda-based development company. Core to our mission is mixed income development. We were a part of the townhomes in the Navy Yard at Capitol Quarter. We've done extensive work with the Housing Authority in Old Town Alexandria, as well as in Montgomery County. It's a core part of our mission. It's what we're passionate about. And we're really excited to have been chosen to work with you all and the Housing Authority. We are humbled by the trust that they have shown in us. and the responsibility that comes with that. And we look forward to working together over the coming months to earn your trust. And as Jose said earlier, to meet you in person in small groups as soon as we're all able to. So again, on behalf of EYA, we're super thrilled and look forward to meeting you and working together over these next months and years.
Thank you, Jack and Mike. This is Ivy again with Penrose. And Penrose, and if you don't know anything about us, we are a nationally respected multifamily development company. We specialize and have worked with over 46 housing authorities across the country to do redevelopment projects just like Greenleaf. One of the most important aspects of our organization are our core values. That's integrity, collaboration with you, the residents and the community, our partners, as well as the housing authority, accountability, as well as being results oriented. We are very passionate about public housing redevelopment. And more importantly, we understand as much as we can the challenges and the fears that may go along with an impending revitalization of your homes. So we're here to work with you, to share information with you, and to make sure that we are listening to you, not directing you, but listening to you. I would like to say I've been with Penrose for 30 years. Actually, today is my 30th anniversary with Penrose. I started when I was 10 years old. And I actually started as a site manager for our management company. We too have a management company as one of the sister companies for Penrose. And so I understand from a property management perspective the importance of providing safe, affordable, decent housing to our residents and making sure that our residents understand you're our customers in this project. And with that, we've got significant experience and we're really excited to work with you, the residents, and the housing authority to make this project something that you're going to be proud of and be welcomed back to. With that being said, we're going to move forward with our Build First potential sites. I think everyone's very interested in what that is and how we may be moving forward with the redevelopment project. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our partners at Bizzuto and Ms. Devin Hasty.
Hi, good afternoon. Nice to meet everyone virtually, and I'll just echo the sentiments of my colleagues and say that we're really excited to be here today and to start working on this project with you and to share some of our initial high-level thinking. So we wanted to start with Build First. I think it's a critical component of the project and something that we have been very focused on. So as we thought about our initial plans for the site, we really wanted to come up with multiple options and opportunities that would allow us to best meet this challenge at hand, which I think as we move through the planning process together, will evolve as we try to make sure that we're meeting everyone's needs and being able to put the project in a position to move forward. So what you're seeing on the screen here is some of the options and opportunities that we've been thinking about initially. So one of which is Westminster. This is a Westminster church, which I imagine many of you are familiar with. It's over by the Waterfront Metro at 4th and I. So Bizzuto has been working with the church for a number of years now, and in conjunction with Dante's partners to plan a redevelopment of their facility. It would include 222 multifamily units, and 123 of those are currently planned to be senior affordable units. So this project is moving forward. It's in the zoning process. It's going to continue to move forward independently of Greenleaf, but possibly presents a good opportunity here with the timing that we have to be able to be used in capacity as a Build First. Another opportunity we have is Capitol Park. So you all may also be familiar with two existing buildings today. So one, which is just north of the Greenleaf site, is shown on the screen, and then another a little bit further north of that. These are two existing apartment communities that are occupied today. And as sort of the years go by, they have a natural turnover and some units become vacant as people move. So one exciting thing about this option is it could be used today. It exists today. And if it ends up meeting the needs of, the folks in community and project, it's a potential option that we have. Additionally, there's a development site just east of the northernmost building, which you're seeing on the screen as well, which could be redeveloped into an 86-unit apartment building. Similarly, this project is exciting because it could move forward with what we call by right, which means we wouldn't necessarily have to go through a full rezoning process, which can often take a year or more. So we think that could be a good option as well, but by no means are these the only options that we will consider as we move through this process and plan with the community and with DCHA and with all of our partners on what logistically will work and best meet the needs of the project and the residents.
Next slide. So our next slide is the overall master plan, and this was something that the development team collectively envisioned along with the professionals on our team, but in no way is this a final master plan. This is a proposed master plan, and these monthly meetings that the Housing Authority mentioned earlier is to really get your input as it relates to your thoughts, your needs, your desires as we move this plan forward. So what we had envisioned is about approximately 1,400 mixed income, affordable multifamily units, 130 townhomes, 83 condo units, approximately 35,000 square feet of commercial space. One very important component is making sure that we've got green space and outdoor space to provide all the residents with the amenities that make your life socially better within the district. We also estimate that overall we'll have about 2 million in square footage of overall development space when it's complete. So this in no way is a final plan. This is what we proposed, what we envisioned, but the most important part is getting your input into the master plan as we move forward. Next slide. This is just really another overview of what we had envisioned and what we worked on as we put together our proposal to the Housing Authority. You can see that we've identified some buildings. We've identified some green space, a linear park. We still have kept the Greenleaf Recreation Center in place because that's a very important aspect of what you currently have right now. So we'll continue to work on this with you as we move forward with the planning process. Next slide. Community participation. One thing I want to highlight that I didn't mention earlier is that Bozzuto, Penrose, and EYA, we have all worked together before on previous projects. So you have a team who's made up of organizations that have the same cultures, and we approach redevelopment pretty much in the same ways from core values and principles. So we are familiar with working with each other, which is one hurdle that some teams may have had. From a community participation perspective, and that's the slide that I'm currently on for those of you who aren't able to get online, this is a huge piece of this entire process. And as we said, this is the first meeting together as a team with you guys. And, I'd like to point out two very important elements in this is that we plan with you, the residents. We're not planning for the residents, and that we want to make sure that we earn your trust. And as Executive Director Garrett said earlier, you are a part of this process, and we want to be transparent. And we'll take the hard questions. If we can't accurately answer your questions, we will get back to you with an answer. We do not want to, we don't want to put any misinformation out there. So please be patient with us as we get back to you as it relates to responses. The other thing, when we're doing large redevelopment projects is, my greatest fear in life is not knowing what's next. And I think a lot of people operate on that premise. And so we want to make sure that you are in the know and to alleviate some fears, because I certainly, if someone told me, we're going to have to relocate you, and at some point we will bring you back to the development, that creates fear and uncertainty. And we want to make sure that we address those fears and that uncertainty. And yes, we are going to be doing one-for-one replacement. So as we build back on site, we will be building units for you to come back to, if that is your choice. So please rest assured that we are doing one-for-one replacement and that you will have a home within the Greenleaf redevelopment project. Some of the things that we do from a community participation to make sure that you're involved and engaged in the process are some, pretty things. We've done bus trips to other redevelopment projects within the area to give you some ideas of some things that may happen or how some projects have turned out. We do visual preferences surveys so that you can tell us some of the features and the amenities that you'd like to see in the community. Another important thing that we do is a resident survey, and it can be a confidential survey, but it's really to understand and give you the ability to tell us based on a number of different questions, what's your family composition? What do you want to see in your apartment? But more importantly, as I'll talk about a little bit later, is, what are your goals from a family perspective? Are you interested in furthering your education? Are you having health issues and need more direction and support from that perspective? Are you having issues with, your children, or do you need a job? Do you need job training? What are your goals from a professional and work perspective? So we'll be getting into those things. I can't stress the importance of our youth that live at Greenleaf and making sure that we are engaging them and supporting them and what their goals are through summer youth participation programs and ongoing support while they're
Ivy, I think we lost your audio.
Hello, I just joined the meeting. My name is Gary.
Ivy, we can't, I apologize for interrupting, but we can't really hear you. I want to make sure.
Senthil, thank you. Is anyone else from the development team prepared to help finish the slide off? I'm not sure where Ivy is unmuted. We're just having a hard time hearing her right now. If there's somebody else that wants to help finish up the slide.
Sure. This is Jack Lester, and Ivy can do a much better job. But I think we were actually transitioning Jose into the next slide. I think that the key point here is just that community participation. It goes into developing the vision, at a very high level, and then ultimately down to the individual. What are those individuals' needs, whether it's, as Ivy said, childcare or healthcare or job training. So those are going to be the cornerstones of our engagement. I think the next slide, which gets into detail very specifically about hiring, jobs, and training. And I will just say this, speaking on behalf of EYA, this is an incredibly important component of the mixed, of the redevelopments that we've done in mixed income developments. We have a very unique opportunity as a builder to really engage residents and in work and training with our subcontractors. I'll speak for Bozzuto for a moment. They also have an enormous construction company, and as Mike said, the #1 management company in the region, if not the country. And so again, I know that they feel the same way, that there are unique company attributes allow us to really engage residents and help them in this training and hiring jobs aspect of these redevelopments.
Hi guys, it's Ivy again. I apologize for that. I'm not sure what happened to my computer, so I've called back in on my phone.
I was doing a less than adequate job, Ivy, but we moved on to section 3 and just talking a little bit about EYAs. And I spoke on behalf of Mike and Devin on Bozzuto, but maybe you can touch on some of your incredible experience in helping residents get trained and find jobs.
Sure, thank you, and I apologize again for that. I'm not sure if everybody understands what section 3 is. But just a brief overview is that Section 3 is a requirement by HUD when we are redeveloping public housing projects to make sure that residents within that housing project and surrounding low-income individuals have an opportunity to participate in the economic benefits of that project. And so some of the ways that we've done this previously, we've done job fairs in a recent redevelopment project. I talked about the survey that we would do earlier in determining what are your job skills, what areas would you like to be trained in? Is it food preparation? Is it daycare? Is it, administrative work? Is it a construction job or a specific construction field? So that's the kind of information that we try to get from you to make sure that we can create and develop programs to make those types of things happen for you. So we need to get that information from you first. We need your input and we need your participation. In addition, we do our very best to make sure that we are hiring a smaller firms by which to participate in the construction of these projects to allow them to hire residents from the community. And I'm sure Mike and EYA have done this in previous jobs, making sure that we're making those positions available to you as we move forward with the project. And it's just not about construction jobs. It's about other types of corporate jobs, whether it's in property management or whether the residents, there's a painting company or a cleaning company, to make sure that we're including those types of organizations within the redevelopment project. Next slide. With that, I'm going to turn this back over to Andre to discuss our next monthly meeting with our residents, and then I'm sure we can open this up for questions and answers from you, the residents.
So actually, Andre, before you or Jose jump in, this is let me turn on my video. Sorry. I have kids at home who are also on online school, so I try to keep the video off, share some of the bandwidth with them. Hold on. All right, I'm back. I just wanted to say, one, thank you for that presentation to the team. But I wanted to reiterate a couple of points that I know Ivy had mentioned. And, the key point being that, that your voice as residents is going to be critical to all of this. And I wanted to provide just a little bit of a high level of like what DCHA's process is going to be over the next few months. Like, this is just the start of a process. And it's important to understand that, because it's the residents are going to play a large role in shaping how this goes forward. But DCHA and the development team through this over the next few months will be negotiating and papering a deal, the high level pieces of the deal that capture the proposal that has been made, and but more importantly, within the deal have the flexibility in order to be flexible in order to to reflect these conversations that we're having. And I think, and it's important that we are able to prioritize what the needs and priorities of the residents are. And so I just wanted to be able to reiterate that nothing is set in stone now, that this is just the beginning of a process. And anyone who tells you that this is all, is all done, and people will be moving and there'll be new buildings up in months, is not reflecting the process that the DCHA and the development team still need to go through with you, the residents as well. So I know Director Garrett said this earlier when he was on the call, and I think it's worth repeating that this is a group that you can come to for information. I think Andre and Jose will share kind of what the means for that will be, and the lines of communication, and who the points of contact will be. But if you want real information and facts, this is the group to come through. And on that note, I just again want to thank the team for sharing their vision, and look forward to the conversation that's to follow.
Thank you, Senthil. Let me just quickly go over this slide. This is obviously the first of several monthly meetings that will be happening with residents. Then there are quarterly meetings that will happen with the Greenleaf Neighborhood Advisory Council. We'll provide an update on this later at probably the next meeting. It is likely that another group of residents will be in taking part in a resident-led group as well, that will help to provide a little more guidance on subsequent agendas, and kind of help shape a lot of the inquiries that they're hearing from you all, to assist not just DCHA but also the development team as they navigate this process. So we'll have more to share on that next month. We are, of course, going to be providing updates to the ANC, to Councilmember Charles Allen's office. There's a project website. There is a dedicated website, email address, greenleaffeedback@dchousing.org, where you can send your inquiries. On the packets that we distributed, there's also a phone number where you can call and leave messages with any questions that you have, and a member of our team will give you a call back. There's several subjects that will cover the next couple of months of meetings from us, specifically on how Build First gets deployed in projects like this, what the relocation process looks like, project phasing, all of that. And then additionally is the programs that exist within our Office of Resident Services that you should be taking advantage of now, that you should be taking advantage of over the course of the next several months and years as we go through this process. Let me just move over to the next slide here as well. The next meeting for the next Greenleaf Development Update meeting will take place in late January. So it's Thursday, January 28th. We're going to be doing it at 4:30, trying to stagger these times so we can get as many people to participate as possible. One thing I want to remind you of today, we have the development team on the phone and on the call and video. And so we're going to try to take advantage of asking questions that they can speak to. If you have property specific questions, please be sure to reach out to your property managers. Their phone numbers and email addresses are on here. They're also on the call. And so if you ask a question that's specific to something going on with your issue or a transfer or anything like that, make sure you reach out to them directly. We're trying to optimize the time on the call to talk about the development in particular. Similarly, navigators are also on the call. So if you have questions about a referral or a program or anything like that that you want to speak about, be sure to reach out to them appropriately. We're going to try to make sure we keep the focus and scope of the questions around the redevelopment, and then we'll go from there. With that, let me quickly kind of take this down and get back to the main screen here. Let me see if we can find her on here. We will keep you muted until you're called to participate. Let me see if I can get her on. I know she was having some trouble. Miss Walker, are you able to join? I know that you were having some microphone troubles. Did you have a question that you wanted to bring to us right now, Miss Dina Walker? Okay. Let me do this then. Miss Belk. Miss Belk, if you are on, you can unmute by pressing *6. And we'd love to hear any comments or questions that you have at this point, Miss Belk. Miss Belk, if you are on, if you want to press *6, we can take your question at this time. Okay.
I see Miss Bell.
Yep. Go ahead, Miss Belk.
Actually, this is Miss Walker.
Oh, go ahead, Miss Walker. Hi, how are you today?
I'm fine. I thought I was unmuted, but I only connect on my phone. I just want to say hello to everyone. I wanted to let you all know that we are supportive of this project. We're looking forward to moving forward, and we know that Mr. Garrett has a commitment that the residents will be put first, and we are here, and we're sure that's going to happen. So I just want to let you know we're supportive, and I know I'm looking forward to working with DCHA and the development team.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Ms. Belk, you are unmuted. Good to see you. You want to go ahead and send us your question? Go ahead. No? Are you on the call as well, Ms. Belk? What number are you calling from? If you want to press *6 on your phone, you can unmute and then we can hear your question. *6.
Yes.
Hi, Ms. Belk.
Alexis Scott.
Oh, hi, Ms. Scott.
Ms. Scott. Yes, I had a question. If you want to find your own place but still under housing, can you do that?
Do you mean while redevelopment is taking place?
Yes.
And do you mean within another DCHA property for a transfer, or outside of DCHA?
No, still in.
Okay.
Another property. If someone a house, they under y'all, underneath of y'all.
So I know the property manager is on. If I think this is a transfer question, you would probably have to speak to your property manager about how to submit a transfer application and see what the availability is on the transfer list.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Bishop, Miss Patricia Bishop, if you're on, if you want to press *6, we can take your call at this time.
Yes. Hi, this is Miss Bishop. I'm still more concerned about having our agreements with developers and housing placed in black and white. Like the things that we had discussed. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Miss Bishop.
Okay, like the things we discussed it. I keep hearing somebody else in the background. They are not muted.
Okay, we just muted them. Go ahead.
Okay. Like things that we had discussed it, asking for Tyrone Garrett to take it to the developers and for no agreement to be signed unless they agree to what we are asking for.
So, Ms. Bishop, if I may, that's actually what the next several months are going to be for, right? So this is the first call.
I understand that, but I'm just trying to find out if they have already, if Tyrone Garrett have already mentioned that to the developers, since the developers are speaking like they want to come to the table with us. Are they aware of this already? And has it been typed up in black and white?
So, Ms. Bishop, if I may, let me just quickly go over a portion of this. When we came to you in November, we indicated that the next step was to have the Board of Commissioners approve our ability to enter into negotiations with the selected development team. The board voted that on November 12th that we could do so, and that started the process of us having these conversations. And so this meeting is the first public meeting being held with DCHA and with the developers in the community. So there's still an active negotiation process going on. So there's nothing final. This is still very much a discussion that's happening between the residents, DCHA, and the development team. The next several months will help shape what that development will, what that agreement could look like before we go back to the board.
Okay, I'm just trying to find out, are they aware?
Yep.
That this is what
yes,
we asked for as the
Ms. Bishop, this is Senthil at DCHA. Yeah, no, I think it's part of leading up to this meeting in our conversations with the development team has been to ensure their commitment to meet regularly with the residents and to understand the residents' priorities, so that we can then as DCHA to ensure that we're able to capture the priorities appropriately in any agreement that we do ink with the development team.
Okay, I got my answer.
Thank you, Ms. Bishop. With that, I'm going to hand it off to my colleague, LaShawn.
Question, please.
One moment, please. Who is that speaking right now?
My name is Sharon Moore.
Go ahead, Ms. Moore, while we have you.
Okay. I'm concerned about safety as it is now, as opposed to the future. Because there are people that don't even live in DC. They cause the most havoc in buildings. We're unsafe, walking our children to school, coming home with trash and everything else. How is that going to change, even if redevelopment happens? Is there going to be some type of more security? And especially when we have housing police that are stationed across the street, quote unquote, for me to call 911 because they don't have that enough staff members to check on a hallway that's full of outsiders. I've had people urinate and actually defecate in my building. So how's that going to change?
So thank you, Ms. Moore. Let me break this up into two parts here. So again, I know the property management team is on here if they want to follow up with you directly on some of your concerns. Perhaps they can set up a conversation between you and a member of our public safety team to talk about some of that. I think it's an opportunity to let the development team speak to what some of the goals are of the development and how it could help maximize sort of visibility, but also how you envision this project helping to shape and support some overall neighborhood and public safety goals, if you all want to speak to that.
I have a suggestion.
One second, go ahead, Ms. Moore.
Okay, maybe one. By law, even if you put up no violation fine, they have to use, the laws are already on the books. Why are they not being enforced? No loitering. Why is that not enforced? They have housing police. And they're getting paid 6 of them at a time to sit behind a desk to find people in and out of the senior citizen building. Nothing is happening in senior citizen buildings. We're talking about the community.
I understand, Ms. Moore. Let's do this, Ms. Moore. I'm going to have your property manager reach out to you, set up a conversation with a member of our public safety team to talk about this particular issue, and then we'll follow up from there. Okay. Does anybody on the development team want to speak to the questions about visibility and public safety enhancements as part of what you envision in your project plan?
Ivy.
Yeah, Ivy, I think we can't hear you again. But it looks like you're muted.
Still can't hear you, Ivy.
Want to take it, Jack?
Yeah, I know Ivy would do a better job, but this is something that's critical to us is safety and welfare, and we accomplish that in two primary ways. It's the design, how we design projects, how the land plans are in a way that makes public spaces safe, right? So we want to make sure that there's visibility, that there's openness, that there's light, that there's eyes on the street, that people can look out their window and see if something that shouldn't be happening is happening, and then contact management or, if necessary, police. So it's one, design is a big element in creating safe neighborhoods. Two, of course, is management. I know with Bizzuto's expertise and Penrose expertise, created management, working with DCHA to create management protocols and responsiveness to concerns, particularly those around, are going to be critical. And the input from residents on how to best achieve that through both design and management are going to be a big part of what we talk about in these next few months.
Hello?
Thank you. Thank you, Jack.
Hello?
So,
Hello?
LaShawn, if you want to go ahead and start to call upon some residents, want to make sure we get as many folks to participate as possible, and then we'll go from there for next round. Okay.
All right, sounds good. Since we didn't really get an opportunity to take attendance during this call, the easiest way to facilitate Q&A is just to go through our participant list. So what we'll do here is just go through the telephone numbers that we see, so that each person can have the opportunity to have the floor without being interrupted. So because I can't see the entire telephone number, I'll just be calling out the area code and the last 2 digits of the telephone number. To unmute, you just need to press *6. When you hear your last 2 digits of the telephone number, we'll get your name, and then you can have the floor to ask your question, make a comment, or just to let us know that you don't have a question at this time. And then for all of those names, all of those folks that are calling either through the WebEx app or on a laptop, we'll go through those names following all of the other participants. All right, so the first caller I see is area code 202. Last 2 digits are 11. You can *6 and unmute yourself. Area code 202 and last 2 digits 11.
Hello?
Yes. Is this Miss Moore?
Yes, yes.
Okay, Miss Moore.
I have a comment.
Miss Moore, give us just one moment. Let us try to get through some of this, and then we'll come back to you if we can, okay? Miss Carter, I saw you unmute yourself. Did you want to comment?
No, I just wanted to make sure you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good, thank you.
No problem. All right, area code 202, last 2 digits 11. And then we also have area code 202, last 2 digits 21. If you could *6 and unmute yourself, if you have any questions or comments. Okay, 202, last 2 digits 28. Your telephone number ends in 28. You can *6 and unmute yourself. All right, I see caller with area code 202, last 2 digits 47. You've unmuted yourself. You can one moment.
No, this is hello. It's a lot of us.
Okay, I see caller that ends in 11. 611, you can go ahead. Okay, you just muted yourself again. So I have a caller whose number is ending in 47. You're unmuted. Can you go ahead with your question or comment?
Hi, my name is Levi Bell. I'm calling from the Greenleaf Senior Building.
Okay,
Can you
yep.
guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So my question is, because I'm like on the list with my mom. My mom is 67 and I'm actually 27. So we tried to do our interview for one of the apartments at the Arthur Capers building, but we were told that I actually can't move in with them because it's only a senior building. But I tried to explain that this is actually a senior building, and I'm actually not listed on the list as like a caregiver. I'm listed as the co-head of household. I was wondering, would that be a problem for the other properties as well? Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, who was getting ready to answer? Can we have a DCHA staff answer that?
Is one of the property managers on that can help speak to that? Ms. Harvell.
Jose, I was going to say it's how this project gets developed, right? In terms of what the unit mix will look like. So I think that's to be determined in terms of the population, working with Central and Andre and the development team, Rose and EYA. I think that's a to be determined.
Yes, excellent point, Andrea. The current makeup obviously is not yet defined. Those are elements that will be discussed as the process goes through around sort of what that process looks like. But in the short term, my recommendation to you would be to give your property manager a call to kind of talk through the current challenges that you're going through on that and sorting out sort of the current makeup of the lease so you can best determine what your options are going to be both in the short term and the long term, and then that will kind of help shape what happens as part of your next steps. I know you mentioned there's other people part of that group. Are there other questions within that group on the line ending in 47 that you wanted to ask at this point?
No.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have area code 202, last two digits ending in 58. You can unmute yourself. And if any of the other telephone numbers that we called out before that didn't have the opportunity to unmute yourself, you can unmute yourselves if you heard your last two digits of your telephone number.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, this is Miss Bostick from Greenleaf. I think it's 21, if you call 21.
Yep, we can hear you.
A quick question, please. Will there be any housing vouchers passed out, and or are we going to be given three choices as to where to relocate?
Andre, you want to take that one, Andre?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll take that one. I just want to reiterate that we're still very early in this process. We'll be talking with you as this process moves along.
Okay.
What the relocation options are going to be as we move forward. So please stay tuned. Sorry we can't answer that question right now.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And this is Semple at DCHA. If I can just chime in one other piece, as we talk about these future meetings, part of what the DCHA team and the development team will be, coming to present with the residents is, as we refine this redevelopment, plan, also be talking about the process that we need to go through jointly with HUD, in which we would be submitting an application to HUD, and no vouchers or anything like that would get unlocked until after that stage. So there will be many conversations about this process along the way. I want to try and make sure that everyone understands that and understands that this is just a kickoff of that process, and for folks to become familiar with the individuals who are going to be heavily involved in that process. And look forward to engaging with the residents on these
I don't know.
types of questions.
Thank you. I don't know if they can still hear me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Bostic. Okay, we're going to try to go through the additional callers that have called in by telephone number. I have a 202, last two digits ending in 70.
Jesus.
Last two digits ending in 70. You can star 6 and unmute yourself.
Hi, how are you? My name is Morticia Henderson, and I just wanted to know, there are townhouses up the street from where I live at in 201 N Street. If I wanted to transfer to the townhouses, how can I do that? Do I have to go through my rental office?
Yes, ma'am. So you would speak to the property manager about filling out a transfer application, and they would help you determine what that means in terms of your timing and the process for which you would be able to do that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Let's see. We have 202, last two digits ending in 78. Okay, and caller, I've already called this number, caller, ending in last two digits 11. It looked like you tried to unmute yourself. Can you star 6 again?
Yes, I am a resident that's like in transition. My name is Luvinia Adams. I'm at 205 K Street Southwest. My question is, for persons or residents who already had to transfer because of the conditions of Greenleaf, what is our timeline? Because now you all are doing redevelopment, and we have already endured inhumane conditions. I literally had to get a mandated emergency conditions transfer. And so this week will be my last week being eligible to be a Greenleaf resident. And I just endured hell there. And now I'm at another unit in Highland Additions in Carlton Terrace, which is just as bad. So it's like, for residents like myself, I was an original Bury Farms resident, and right before their redevelopment stage, I was transferred to Greenleaf. And now, in the beginning of you all's redevelopment stage, I'm transferred to another unit. I feel that there should be some type of timeline. If you endured a circumstance or a complex for so odd many years, you should qualify for something. And I just feel like other residents like myself, we're just getting skipped over, and it's not right. So what is in the plan for persons like myself?
Thank you for your question and your comment. Do we have someone that can address that on the line?
So let me say this really quickly. I know that Ms. Adams, you've probably been working with some members of our team. May be helpful to talk more in depth about some of those circumstances with one of those folks. But there is a mandated timeline of sort of that's associated with Andre, I believe the Section 18 process that talks about when sort of the clock starts, if you will. Can you speak to that?
Sure, I can. I guess her question is actually twofold because she's trying to find out how she can be accommodated now. And I think you were alluding to the fact that our property management staff can work with her as far as her current unit conditions. But for the future, we're actually, a few years into planning for when there'll be new units available. And when we sit down and work with the residents overall, we'll have discussions as far as priorities for residents to move into new units. And the residents will make that decision as to when those priorities will be. Will it be the person that's been on the site the longest? Or, the seniors get first preference to new units. So we'll work with the residents as far as putting together, priorities for moving into new replacement units when they come online. But again, it's going to be some time before those new units will be available.
Thank you, Andre. Did you have any additional questions or comments? Ms. Adams?
We'll reach back out to Ms. Adams because I think we'll give her a call back because I know that she's working with some members of our team on that, and we should have a deeper conversation on that. You can go ahead, Ms. LaShawn, to the next caller.
Gotcha. Okay. We've had more folks join by phone. 202, last two digits ending in 78. Looks like you're already unmuted. Did you have any questions or comments? I'm sorry, we can't hear you. Okay,
Hello?
we'll try to come. Yes, we can hear you.
You can hear me now?
Yes, your name?
Matthews.
Okay, thank you. Did you have a question, sir?
Yes, we already know where we want to move at. Do we have to wait till y'all send us a voucher?
So, Mr. Matthews, right now, nobody is moving. This is the first meeting of several meetings that should be taking place over the next couple of months and years. So there are no associated moves taking place at this point in time. If you have inquiries about your current unit or transfer needs or anything like that, you can speak to your property manager. But nobody's moving right now, and we're not. So if you've heard anything about that, that is not what's taking place. We're here to introduce the development team and to ask questions about the project. But there are no moves taking place at this point in time as part of the redevelopment.
Okay, reason why I asked you, see, we've been here 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we still wait. That's why I asked. Since they ain't moving nowhere right now, we'll still wait there.
Yes, and just to, let me just say this: part of our team, we have a dedicated team that works closely with residents for moves. So when the time comes to have that conversation, usually more than 6 months out, that team starts to conduct individual surveys of families around what their needs are, health-wise, size-wise, things. So our team will work very closely with residents at that point, but we are still a ways away from that point. But when the time comes, we do have a dedicated team that will walk all residents through their personal circumstances and how they can prepare for a move when the time comes. We are not at that point right now. But thank you, Mr. Matthews, for that question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's continue with the callers. 202, last two digits, 82.
Hi, this is Ms. Bishop again. I would like to know if the developers are on the phone, would they mind asking a question?
What's your question, Ms. Bishop?
I would like to ask the developers, and I'm going to break it down to where Greenleaf already have housing and apartments. And the housings do have front door and storm doors. When they if they are chosen to be the builders, where they allow the Greenleaf people to have storm doors and fences, just like others will have on the property that are owners that are not Greenleaf residents. I would appreciate an answer from the developers.
Sure, Ms. Bishop.
Ivy, I can't hear you.
Ms. Carter, you're muted.
I'll speak. This is Jack from EYA. I think the question was around, architectural details. I heard storm doors. A couple of things. My sense is that the units, being the age that they are, have not been, have not kept up with the standards for energy efficiency. So number one, any home that we build is going to be to the meet or exceed the current code. So the issues about drafty and inefficient and cold or overly hot in the summer, that will not be an issue. We're going to build these to the current code, not the code, of course, that many of the units were built to decades ago. And so as it relates to the architectural details, that's an element that we want folks to participate in. I think we have all been designing great buildings around the cities. You get a sense of how we build and how we design, but it certainly we want to fit in with the fabric of Greenleaf as it relates to design. But we want the input of the residents, particularly those elements that affect their day-to-day living, the insides of those of the units. But specifically as it relates to kind of energy efficiency and draftiness, we're going to address that right out of the gate, no questions asked, with the way we construct our buildings.
Are they gonna have bigger room than the newest they have here now? We need bigger rooms.
So Miss Scales, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Ivy. Go ahead.
I do apologize. I'm not sure what gremlin has gotten into my computer system here. Miss Scales, that's one of the things, one of the exercises that we're going to go through in the planning process is to, identify some of these concerns and some of the wants that you have as it relates to your current conditions and what you'd like to see in the new units. So as Ms. Bishop stated about storm doors, that's something we would discuss. As far as room size, something that we would discuss in a previous project when we could meet in person, and hopefully we'll be able to do that in the near future. We've had our architectural team actually lay out a real size unit in a larger auditorium. So residents had the opportunity to actually walk through a unit that has been laid out on the floor to give you an idea of, how large is an 8x10 bedroom or an 8x12 bedroom? How large is a, 12x12 room, to give you a better idea than just looking at some plans or a piece of paper on spatial elements for the project. So that's one of the exercises that we'll be working through in the planning process. Did that answer your question?
Was there another question to that, or? Okay, LaShawn, go ahead to the next call.
All righty. Let's try 2025 and then last two digits 00. 202, last two digits 00. If you want to star 6 and unmute yourself, you can at this time.
Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
we can hear you.
This is Ms. Sturgis, a Greenleaf resident.
I'm sorry, I didn't get your name.
I would like, this is Ms. Sturgis, a Greenleaf resident. I would like to know.
Maybe you have two people on the line at the same time.
Oh.
Ma'am.
Okay, okay, I'm sorry. I heard Miss, I didn't catch the name, but the Greenleaf resident, 00. Are there two callers with 00?
No, it's just one, Ms. Sturgis.
Go ahead, Ms. Sturgis.
Okay, we can hear you, Ms. Sturgis.
I have a question. I've been here 30 years. We're always moving us, or we just want to stay here. I don't understand.
Could you repeat your question, Ms. Sturgis? I'm sorry.
I said, I've been here 30 years, and are they going to move us, or are they going to give us vouchers, or I don't know. That was my question.
So Ms. Sturgis, the housing authority is going to be working with families individually as it relates to the relocation process. So as we move through the planning process, there will be a very long lead time by which individual families and residents will be working with a relocation team to talk about relocation options. In order for us to demolish and rebuild, there will need to be some relocation, unfortunately, but we want to make sure that you guys are fully aware of what that process is and the ability to return back to the Greenleaf project.
Okay.
Did that answer your question okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Sturgis.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye.
And just a quick reminder, we're trying to get through as many people as possible. I know there are lots of questions. There's a lot of folks who have yet to ask a question. So if you have gone and been called upon, we're going to try to get through everybody else first. And then if we have time, we'll get to you again. We appreciate your patience. Go ahead, LaShawn, to the next caller.
All right, let's try 202, last two digits ending in 23. You can star 6 and unmute yourself. Okay, let's try 202, 6, last two digits ending in 63. You can star 6 and unmute yourself at this time. Okay, 202, last two digits, 65. Okay. Caller ending in telephone number 47. Like you unmuted yourself. Do you have a question or comment?
Question. I got a question.
Okay, we can hear you.
Mary Hampton.
Go ahead, Ms. Hampton.
Okay, when are we gonna move? When I'm gonna move?
So,
you want to take that?
Sure. Ms. Hampton, thank you for your question. The short answer is eventually. The long answer is yet. Right now, we are at the very beginning of this process. The developer during the presentation talked about some of the potential build first options, and our team will continue to walk through sort of what this might end up looking like phasing wise at several points of the development. Right now, nobody is moving. This is the first of several meetings that we're going to be talking to you all about. We'll provide overviews of the HUD regulatory process, how we engage. But right now, nobody's moving, and I don't have a timeline for when moves will happen at this point.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Question on the same number.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Majetti. Mr. Majetti, I was trying to figure out, during the development and all of that, and the building across the street, where the church is across the street, over here across from Greenleaf, are the church going to still remain?
I'll direct that to Devin or Mike.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear you.
Yeah, I can answer that. Actually, the church will remain in the development as planned. It will actually be expanded to about double its current size and would sit on the ground floor below the multifamily building above.
Yes, we're talking about Second Union. Correct?
Are you talking about the Westminster Church or a different church in the neighborhood?
You said different church?
So, Mr. Majetti, I think Devin's speaking about one of their build first sites that they've proposed. Is that correct, Devin?
Yes.
Yeah. So the church you may be asking about, sir, doesn't within the scope of DCHA property or of the properties that the developers have proposed to bring into this team. So we're not aware about what the future is for that building at this point in time.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Question.
Same number.
Same
Yes.
number.
Go ahead.
Okay, under the 2 Creek NC Southwest, when we start these moves?
So again, I'm just going to repeat. There's no timeline for moves right now at this point in time. As we go through this process, we will be at subsequent meetings over the next a little bit more about what that might look like in terms of some proposed timelines. But right now, nobody's moving. There are no timelines associated with that at this point in time. And like I said, we have a dedicated team that will work with you to prepare for a move when that time comes, but we're still several years away from that at this point.
LaShawn, if you want to move on to the next caller.
Ms. Belk, sorry, really quickly. I know that before we called on you and you were not there. Do you want to ask a question, Ms. Belk, while we have you? If you want to press *6 on your phone, or can we hear you on WebEx? Go ahead.
Looks like you just muted yourself.
Go ahead, Ms. Belk. Are you on the phone too, Ms. Belk? We're not getting your audio. I know you're speaking. Are you on the phone? Press *6 on your phone. You want to press *6?
Okay. Yes, I'm on the both, but I'm gonna talk through the
Thank you,
phone.
Ms. Belk.
First of all, I would like to say good evening, and I do apologize for not being here when you all did call me, but I was doing something else. But to comment on Ms. Hampton, if you all are not aware, there are some of our residents in the process of moving up to the new Offer Capers, and she was one of the ones that was on that list. So I think she's referring to that.
Okay.
And my second thing is from the very first meeting, I was a little confused with everything, but I'm up to date with everything. So, Mr. Scott, that's the reason why I did not get back in touch with you. But I will reach out to you and get back in touch with you. But yeah, we do have a lot of tenants that are moving out, and they're moving up to the Offer Capers, and she is one of them. So I do believe that's what she's referring to.
Got it. Thank you, Ms. Belk. And so that's important clarification. If a resident has pursued a move that they've worked on with either our asset management team, with the property manager, those moves are happening, and they're case by case, depending on individual needs. I'm referring to moves happening because of the Greenleaf redevelopment. There are no moves happening because of redevelopment at this point in time. Individual cases, again, the best person to speak to about potential moves, transfer requests, things of that sort, is the property manager, and that's where those inquiries should go at this point in time. But I appreciate the clarification, Ms. Belk.
And thank you.
Go ahead, LaShawn.
All right, thank you. All right, let's see. We have area code 202 last 65. All right. Okay, and then Mr. Williams, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. I got your chat. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question.
What plans are there to ensure adherence with federal and district fair housing laws, adherence with the comprehensive plan framework and the Southwest Neighborhood Plan?
Hi, this is Andrea Powell. We will be complying with all applicable laws, and we'll work with the developer and as well as the residents and community, make sure that we're in compliance. We're at the very beginning of the process, so we will comply. We do comply, and we will certainly comply throughout the process.
Andrea, this is Sempo at DCHA. One other point that I would add, and if Ivy or Jack want to speak to, we're working with developers who are very seasoned and working in this in this environment, and they can speak to how all of their projects do comply.
Thank you, Seth. Absolutely. We are in the, building homes and apartments every day that comply with all applicable laws, particularly, as you point out, fair housing. As it relates to the plans, I can tell you when we developed our concept, we followed the guidelines laid out in the Southwest planning documents. And again, we want to work together. I know that was a document that was created years ago. We want to work together and ensure that the plans that we ultimately agree to, satisfy and meet the goals of the residents and the housing authority. But our baseline was working from those documents.
Thank you, Ivy. LaShawn, if you want to go on to the next caller.
Yep. The next caller, let's see, we have.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
My name is Sharon Moore.
Okay, Ms. Moore, can we? Ms.
sorry.
Moore, place on mute and try to get through the callers in the participant list. Okay, we'll try to get back to you at the end of this call.
Again, just a quick reminder, folks, we're trying to get through as many people as possible. If you've asked your question, we're going to get to everybody else. And if there's still time, we'll call upon you then. In the meantime, if you have a question, you can send it to greenleaffeedback@dchousing.org or at the phone number that was provided on the packets delivered door to door to everyone. So thank you. Go ahead, LaShawn.
Sure. We have 202, last two digits ending in 78. 202, last two digits ending in 78. You can star 6 and unmute yourself.
Hello, my name is Howard Templeman. I'm a member of Greenleaf resident at Greenleaf, and I live in a 2-bedroom, and I went down to Arthur Capers and whatnot, and they said I only qualified for 1-bedroom. My wife has sleep apnea and whatnot, and right now I'm not working because of the COVID-19. But when I start back working and whatnot, I'm gonna need a 2-bedroom because I will not be able to sleep in the same bedroom with her because her machine sometimes makes loud noise, especially at nighttime. So I went down there and they said I only qualified for a 1-bedroom. How do I go about trying to get a 2-bedroom?
Thank you, Mr. Templeton. So again, I think this would be a better question for you to speak to the property manager on. There are standards that have to be abided by on unit sizes that everyone is bound by on this particular instance. And so your personal circumstances might merit a deeper conversation on that, but we're going to move on to the next caller so we can address development related questions, but reach out to your property manager, see how we can talk about that. All right.
Okay, caller 202, last two digits ending in 46. You can press star 6 to unmute yourself.
Just a comment.
Okay, we can hear you.
My name is Katrina Clark-Hill Porter. I have no questions and comments because I only been here a year. So just still trying to get the understanding of everything.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Katrina. Okay, we have 202, last two digits ending in 59. You can star 6 and unmute yourself.
Hello, hi. My name is Deborah Coleman, a resident for Greenleaf.
Okay.
I don't have too much to say, but thank y'all. I appreciate you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Coleman. All right, we have 202, that's 2 digits ending in 36. You can star 6 and unmute yourself. All right, 202, last 2 digits ending in 79. You can press star 6 and unmute yourself.
That would be me, Miss Belt. This is Miss Belt. I couldn't get you on the computer, so I called from my phone.
Okay, Ms. Belk, your last 2 digits are 79?
Yes.
Okay, got you. Thank you. Okay, and then I have a caller, last 2 digits ending in 36. Looks like you're already unmuted. Did you have a question?
No, I have no question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. 240, last 2 digits ending in 04. You can star 6 and unmute yourself. 240, last 2 digits 04.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
I've called there once before about I don't know if it's mold in my bedroom in the toilet room, but I want to know what it is. Who can I talk to and
Can
find
you
out
give
what
us
it is?
your unit number, sir, or ma'am?
613, 613.
613. Okay. Ms. Harvell or Ms. Dunlap, if you're on, can you follow up with the resident in unit 613 to address his issue or the issue? Okay. Ms. Harvell or Ms. Dunlap, if you can reach out to the resident in unit 613. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, caller ending area code beginning in 240 and last 2 digits ending in 04. 240, last 2 digits ending in 04.
I'm finished.
Okay, thank you.
Hey.
Okay. We have another 240, area code 240, last 2 digits ending in 88. You can star 6 and unmute yourself. All right, it looks like we've gotten through most of the callers who are calling in from either landlines or their mobile numbers. So we'll start with the folks on the line that have names. Let's see.
Gary
apologies.
Easel.
Okay. Thank you, Jose.
Yes. Well, pretty much I'm up to date with everything. Been keeping up with things here at my residence and who I need to talk to and everything. So I'm just participating right now. And I hear most of the questions, that's giving me more knowledge to things. So I thank you very much for allowing me to come in, and I'll just hang on and keep up with the virtual meeting.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate participation and look forward to having you back at the next meeting. Go ahead, LaShawn, the next one.
Thank you.
Howard and Doris Templeman, did you have questions?
I think he may have been the inquiry about the Caper unit. So we can move on to the next one.
All right.
Jamal. Jamal Alwan, if you want to unmute.
Okay, Gia Henson. Gia Henson, any questions or comments? Okay, let's move on. Looks like a Laura Abbott.
Hey, I'm actually with the development team. I'm with Bizzuto. Excited to on the project.
Thanks, Laura. All right, Monique. And I know in Wanaka. Okay, what about a Rhonda Harville? Any questions or comments?
Ms. Harville's with us, LaShawn.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Is Sharon Daniel?
Hello?
Yes.
I have a question. We have a problem with our building elevators. It constantly keep breaking down time to time. And I'm wondering, is there any way that they can be constructed buildings, an old elevator, and I wonder if they can repair it to where it would be able to stand, people going in and out on the elevator. It's dropping, the level of it is dropping, and I'm wondering if y'all can fix that.
Thank you, Ms. Scales. I know that PMO has been working on some of the elevator issues that have been identified. If there are any updates that anybody from PMO wants to provide on that at this point in time?
Which building is she in?
Ms. Scales, are you in the senior building? Or the family building, Ms. Scales? We will follow up with you, Ms. Scales, then to address that particular question on that. So, LaShawn, Tommy Jones, is that the other person? Tommy Johnson? Tommy Johnson, if you want to.
And then looks like the last participant is Whitney, first name Whitney.
Yes, I do have a question. So, are we able to find our own units or wherever we want to live at now? Since you guys don't have a say so when you guys going to start moving people?
So you are you're a current Greenleaf resident, Whitney?
Yes.
So any moves right now would be through. I mean, some senior units have come online at the reconstructed Arthur Capper Senior Building, but other moves would be subject to transfer. So our asset management team has been reaching out to seniors who might want to move to Arthur Capper. That's the moves you may have been hearing about, but other moves would be through other PHA moves, or for public housing units would be through a transfer application to the property management office.
Okay.
So a couple of quick, we've been rejoined by our executive director, Mr. Garrett. Just want to quickly thank everybody for participating. We've documented most of the questions here. Again, this is the first of several meetings that will be taking place over the next several months and years through this process. Mr. Garrett, do you want to give us some thoughts or comments at this point in time before we move towards closure? Okay. The meeting has been recorded. We will be uploading the meeting recording to the project website, dcha.us/Greenleaf. We will be, again, transcribing the questions and answers for both this meeting and the last meeting, and including that as part of the next distribution, which will be sent and delivered door to door to residents before the January meeting. Quick reminder, the January meeting will be taking place on January 28th. It's another Thursday. In the meantime, if you have questions about your units, about transfers, about anything like that, please get in touch with your property manager. If you have questions about referrals, resources, or programs that you want to take advantage of, give your navigators a call. We have been really pleased to have been able to spend this time with you today, and I know the development team has enjoyed meeting all of you. I think I speak for everybody when I say we look forward to meeting you in person. Nothing against this format, but I know we'd prefer to be able to shake your hand and spend some time hearing directly from you. And God willing, we'll get to that sooner than later at this point. Senthil and the team, do you have anything you want to add before we move to closure?
No, Jose, thank you for playing MC/game show host for this today, and LaShawn for helping keep this as organized as possible. I know, as Jose said, it's often difficult using this format to get the level of engagement that we've all become used to, and we look forward to being able to a return to normalcy. But until then, this is the best that we have for right now. I do encourage all of you to continue your engagement through this vehicle that we have available to us at this time. And please don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll make sure to get answers to your questions. And again, I want to take this opportunity to welcome the team, and I don't know if and give them the opportunity to say anything in closing as well.
And I'd just like to thank everybody for their patience today. We are looking forward to working with you in the future. I wish you and your families a happy holiday, and be safe. And please let us know if you've got questions. The Housing Authority has provided you with ways in which to get those to us, so we can hopefully have some answers at our next meeting for you as best we can. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ivy. I'm gonna just, Mr. Garrett, if you are on, if you want to just give us any last thoughts. Want to make sure I offer that to you. You are my boss, and it would be
no, I'm fine. I just want to say again, thank you for everyone participating. No question will go unanswered, and as we move through this again, we're going to be a team, a clear partnership with everyone that you've met today, and in conjunction with anything that you need, we'll definitely be here for you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you again, and thank you to Commissioner Council, who was with us earlier as well. Folks, please stay safe out there, and we look forward to seeing you on January 28th.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
That's good.